woman who speaks out is rebellious. A woman does not lead. A woman does not go ahead of the man, whether it's her husband, could be her minor son who is baptized. He's now in charge of her, even if it's a woman.
Wow.
Big time.
So a child, as long as he is baptized, he has more authority over his mother?
Yep. Especially in the congregation. So say there's what Jehovah's Witnesses do is they go preaching, and it's very organized. So say 9:00 on a Saturday morning, you meet at the Kingdom Hall. That's what the buildings are called. You meet at the Kingdom Hall, and that's when they go door to door. And it's called leading the group. So a man or a baptized male will read a passage and take everybody out. Women do not do that unless there has to be no men in the building in order for a woman to lead the group. So if you have an underage child, as long as they're baptized, they're in charge of that whole group. And they're grooming young men, young children from a very small age to get baptized for this reason. Two things. It encourages and it's empowering, but like I said earlier, it's the illusion of knowledge, it's the illusion of empowerment. And it gives people this savior complex. We have to see them because we have the truth. That savior complex follows people outside the organization. That was something I had to unravel too. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help people, but there's this component that's really important where people can help and save themselves. That's what was missing in that religion. So yes, women, they give talks and they have videos on a woman's place. So we know purity culture is a big issue. We're responsible for the thoughts of men. We're responsible for the thoughts of women. If I'm 5'8", right? So I'm tall, and I say this now, but I didn't always. I love my body. I love my shape, but I wouldn't wear potato sacks to sermons because I was so afraid to draw attention to myself, because that is very much a negative thing. Just the way that I walked, I was taught class and elegance. And even if I walked with my shoulders back, that would raise eyebrows. Confidence, not something that looks good on a woman in that organization. There were a couple times where repeatedly I had leadership mention to me that I need to tone it down a little bit, that I'm a little too much, yet not enough. And you're groomed to be wives. If that's your only goal, your only aspiration is to be a wife and be a mother. That's why we see so many people getting married so young, and divorces are on the rise as well, because there's no sex before marriage. And outside of religion, that's a personal decision. But there's no sex before marriage, and you have no other aspiration. So when you're married, that's when the fun begins, right? That's the illusion. You are now considered mature. You get invited to all the parties. You're looked at as an example. And so when I was little, I had this conflicting feeling, Ashley. I wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to be on camera. I was a very passionate, artistic person, but you're not allowed to go to college. You're not allowed to do anything unless you're strictly preaching, teaching, and working in the congregation. And that's the outlook for a lot of women. So they get married to get out of their house. And it's a really big struggle.